Right, welcome back everybody. Thanks for taking the time to come and see what I'm up to. Hoeing, essential part of most gardeners' tasks throughout the year. And conventionally, you know, you're using your Dutch hoe, or my preferred hoe is one of these stow hoes with the single-sided bar. And when you've got a big bed like this, it's easy, isn't it? You know, hoe, hoe, hoe. Brilliant for not only knocking out the small weeds, but also, you know, just keeping that bit of soil movement on the surface, traps in the air, and helps keep the moisture lower down. Now, on an open bed, something like this is brilliant. You know, there's loads of room, blah, blah, blah. But last year, when I was doing my hoeing the onions, I thought I could do something just a little bit more specific, something a little bit more close at hand. And I had this idea, genius, of course, and I had a little brainwave and I came up with this. And it's a hoe that I've made with just a tiny point. And that way you can be very more precise with what you do. And in this one, I'm going to show you how I made this, how I use it, and also I'll be giving one away to one of my subscribers, because I really appreciate my subscribers. So I'll be giving one away. And not only, and as a bit of a byproduct of making one of these, you also end up with one of these, a little small one. Yeah, I know, 2 for the price of 1. So I'll just show you how I use it, and then we'll go and I'll show you how to make one, and I'll show you how you can win it. Right then, so like I said, I came up with this idea through wanting to hoe closer to my onions last year. And with this single small one, it's so easy just to hoe around. You can get really in close. Any little weed you can pick out, you know, around your leeks. Leeks here next door. Well, I just thought it was a really useful tool to have in the arsenal. And to be honest, once I got things growing, it is my go-to hoe. So you can get right in close. Fantastic. Right, that's enough of that nonsense. I'm sure you'll you all know how to use a bloody hoe. Let's go and I'll show you how to make it. Right then, so I'm sure the more observant amongst you has figured out exactly what I've done. What I did was take one of these 3-tined cultivators, cut the outside 2 tines off, left the middle one, and with the one I've cut off, made up a smaller one. Now, if you happen to have one of these old school ones, you know, you can often pick them up at car boots and places like that. They're far superior because they're just built better. They really are. One thing I did, and a slight modification I made to mine to make it even better, is, I can't explain this, try and get one where the tines are flat and form a point, because what we're going to do is cut that point off. All right, so you end up with a flat end. I found that way it actually digs up weeds better and they don't shoot off to either side like they might do with a point. All right, so all you got to do now, like I say, if you can pick one up at a card boot, they're better quality. This was the cheapest one I could find on Amazon. I think it was like £19. All right, so let's get on with it. Tools you'll need is an angle grinder with a cutting disc, and that's just a 1mm disc used for cutting. self-explanatory really. If you haven't got an angle grinder, what you can do is go down to your corner shop, buy a packet of custard creams, go to your local garage, say, I've got a packet of custard creams. I don't suppose you could make just 4 cuts with an angle grinder for me, please? And they'll go, custard creams? Of course we can. We'll angle grind all day for a packet of custard creams. All right. So if you haven't got an angle grinder, your local garage, or I'm sure there's somebody on your street or whatever who's a bit of a DIYer that's got an angle grinder and can help you out. The other thing is a drill, because what we need to do is we've got a bit of a broom handle, and we need to drill a hole up through the middle to obviously accommodate when we cut one of these off. Now, the other thing I've just noticed with this is these outside ones on this particular one are bent. So once I've cut it off, I've got my hammer, I'll go and find something hard, straighten that out. All right, then we can stick it up in the handle. All right, so let's get on with it. So yeah, drill. Oh, and then we've got a bit of this is just silicone and construction adhesive, CT1. You could use something like No More Nails or Gorilla Glue or whatever you like, just to slide up the hole when we put these in to help it stick in there. All right, so let's get on with it. I think the first thing I'm going to do while it's all together is just cut the point off. All right, so glasses, if you're not happy doing stuff like this, please get somebody else to do it. All right. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. One at a time. So cut that off. Right, if you're angle grinding inside your polytunnel, make sure the sparks aren't in your plastic, because it'll go straight through it. All right. Luckily, I've got quite wide one here. Now what we're going to do is just, because that's quite a blunt end, we're just going to angle that so we've got a cutting edge on it. All right. So there again, just the angle grinder. Now, you shouldn't use a slitting disc or a cutting disc for what I'm about to do. All right. You can do it, but it's really not best practice. Really, you should now swap this out for a grinding disc. But hey ho, I've lived this long. Right, always use PPE and live with a danger level that you're happy with. All right. So there we go. That's that one. All done. And remember, you can win this. You can win this at the end. I'll tell you how. Right, so that's that one. This one, what good's that? We need to straighten that out. So I'll just switch off a minute, go and hit this with a hammer and try and get it straight. Right, so I've been out, beat it against the rock and got it straight. And I've also cut a few nicks in it just to help it grip with the sealant when we stick it in the hole. Now, because I rushed, my hole isn't exactly in the middle. So what I'm going to do is just stick it in and see where it sits nicely. which is there. So all I'm going to do then, squirt a load of CT1 in there. Stick that, push that in. That's not enough. It's not oozing out properly. Stick a bit more in. So you want enough in there so when you push it in, that's still not enough. Get in there. There we go. No, I'm not happy. Maybe an 8mm hole might have been enough for this one. See, you can get things wrong in life and it's still fine. It'll be all right. Lick your finger. Do a pretty job of scooping that around there. Now, the one I'll send out to people who win, I'll do a better job of this, all right, and I'll get it right. All right. So once you've got that in there, just leave it to set for a couple of days, ideally, and then you'll end up with one like this. All right. Now, what am I going to do with this? I need a bit of blue towel. Anyway, hang on. Right. So that was a bit of a rush, and I made a bit of a mess of some of it, but you get the idea. And when you're finished, you end up with a precision hoe, which personally I find really useful, and maybe you will as well. And a miniature precision hoe. There again, I use this all the time. Really handy. So there you go. If you'd like to win yourself a set of precision hoes, long and short, I'm afraid it's UK only. I can't afford to send it overseas. Just write in the comments, yes please. All right, simple as that. And then in 2 or 3 weeks time, we'll do a bit of a random generated draw thing and I'll post it off. All right. And if you're handy, just get on and do it yourself, innit? I'll put a link to this one in the comments. Like I say, in the comments, in the description. I think it was 18 quid. All right. Well, I know, bit of an odd one, bit rushed, but somebody might find it helpful and somebody might want to win this. All right. So there we go. Thanks for watching. Cheers and gone.